Welcome back to Houston Live. Step Onward Foundation is a Texas-based nonprofit that's been serving communities across the state for more than 20 years, and their impact is growing right here in Houston.
Yeah, through community concerts, they raise awareness about housing insecurity. They help families in need and support young adults vulnerable to homelessness. Joining us now to chat about their free musical event, our Step Onward co-founder, Patrice Pike, who will also be performing for us later live in studio, and also Houston Executive Director Sam West. Welcome to you both. This is something that so many people don't even think about, housing insecurity. When did you first become aware of this and really decide to make it your mission? Patrice?
Well, when I was a teenager, my mom and my sister and I had housing insecurity on and off for many years. So both of our parts of our mission are from personal experience.
My goodness.
Sam, what about you? How did you get involved?
Yeah, so I work in higher education, and I work at a community college. I noticed that students were bringing everything they owned to class, or they were there 2 hours before class started. The building would open at 6 a.m., and from 6 a.m. till 8 a.m., they're getting a nap in before classes and spending more time in the libraries. So at that time, I got involved with working with students in higher education, making sure they have resources to become housed.
Well, and it seems like now, sadly, a lot of people have come face to face with extreme financial hardship. Sometimes it's a family illness. It could be any number of reasons that a family would find themselves with housing insecurity. So many people live paycheck to paycheck, and one mispayment means you're out on the street. So what are some of the ways your foundation helps, provide resources so other young people don't face what you did, Patrice?
Sure. So we provide, one of the critical things about Step Onward is we provide funding to keep people from being unhoused so that the unhoused community doesn't grow. And we do that within usually 72 hours. We have a very fast, stealthy team. We have a committee that approves. We have vetted through social workers and our partner organizations. And for instance, we've helped both families at Dell Children's Hospital and historically at Texas Children's Hospital because my niece had bone marrow failure and we were watching families be unhoused while we were there.
Oh my gosh.
So if a child is acutely ill, they have parents, they have siblings.
Of course.
If they become unhoused, they all become unhoused. And then they have bad credit, they lose their deposit. They, this follows them, and it's harder to get rehoused than it is to just save their housing. And this, all of our families, over 90% of our families and at-risk youth are still housed a year later after we give them their emergency funding for only just between 1 and 3 months.
You're bridging the gap. Essentially, there is a huge success rate. By the way, the numbers speak for themselves. Over the past 20 years, Step Onward Foundation distributed more than $2 million to recipients here in Texas. And I think just making that small difference to bridge the gap, as you just explained, so many illnesses lead to bankruptcies, right? And families really taking years and even decades to recover if they ever do. So that's where your organization comes in.
Yes, and you can imagine, of course, with the rising costs that we all know about, affordability is a serious problem in Houston, Dallas, all urban areas. A lot of families and also youth that grow up and they want jobs and they need resources, they move toward the cities so they can, for instance, have the best health care at the hospitals. These families have acutely ill children, so they have to be in a city with a really good hospital like Houston. And then the teenagers move from rural areas sometimes, but are also from the city. And they're actually, our clients are going to school and trying to become employable and to become independent. And so there are very specific populations that are already moving. They can easily move towards self-sustainability with this quick response that we have.
Like Derek mentioned, it's such a slippery slope. Like one day you can find yourself in a situation where how do you get the help to get out of it, right? And Sam, that's what I want to know. How do people get involved if they feel they need your help?
Yeah, so we work with partner organizations. And so the recipients that come to us, they're referred to us by a partnering organization that works with them, and they provide those wraparound services and provide those very detailed services, but they may not be able to provide that emergency aid, and they may not be able to pay the rent. And like Patrice said, we can move very fast. And sometimes it's the end of the month, it's the first, and the rent's due by the 5th, or with late fees, so we can move within that first 72 hours. And the great thing about us is that our funds are raised privately, And so since we have private funds, our funds can be used and resourced however our board and ourselves direct it.
Decide to do so.
Also, I'm reading about this Sunday Fun Day community celebration.
Yes.
That sounds really cool. I feel like Houstonians are very good about going out and having a good time, but also giving back to a great cause. And so just having this on our radar, Sunday Fun Day, we love that. What is this all about? Can we just show up? We register?
Yeah, we have an Invitbrite, so we could give the link, so you give the link to actually register. But it's going to be at Dan Electro's Bar on the Heights. We're going to partner with the Boomtown Brass Band, which is a acoustic jazz band here
Love
in
it.
Houston. And it's just a day to kind of reset and bring together our partners and our supporters here in Houston.
And actually, Sam, being a Houstonite, I know Sam, and he's, we're on television right now, but he is one of the funnest people I know, and he knew about Sunday Fun Day being like a thing that a lot of people do in Houston, and it was his idea to do this.
Good job.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Normally we do nighttime
But the weather's nice, the weather, it's a thing in Houston. When the weather's nice, everybody goes out in the
got a
Heights
Sunday
and
Fun
Montrose
Day.
area. So
I mean, even when the weather is not nice, you can find us in the beer garden, right?
Right.
Also, at this Sunday Fun Day event, so the spring 2026 college scholarship recipients, they will be announced. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is also incredible, and you touched on this, Patrice. But essentially, you've been helping young people pursue higher education through your foundation.
We've had students from Star of Hope who have graduated from co-college, went all the way on the football team, and now he lives here in Houston. He came back from co-college, which is in, I believe, Iowa, and now he went into youth ministry, and he works in giving back to the public here.
But you got a full plate too. You also perform music. How did all the music come in?
I'm also a full-time musician,
Yeah.
and this all started because when I was a kid, I was looking at signs. They used to have billboards that said 1-800-RUNAWAY, and I was like, that could be me, except I'm actually safe at home. My family's just struggling. And so I had this dream to start an organization to help give back. And a lot of my friends and people who have followed the music have made that come true. So there are a lot of people that don't get to be in the lights and do this fun stuff that make this happen. So we want to thank them too.
And Patrice, what a beautiful story that all of this hardship, you turned it into something beautiful, and now you're making a difference and giving back.
Well, and she received a scholarship for $5,000, which put her on the path of becoming a successful musician.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
I wrote an essay that told them that I started my first band at 16 and bought my first car and then got my first apartment. And there were 2 other kids, and they were from prep school, but I got the scholarship.
You got it.
So that was a part of it too.
It's because you started the band first and then got the apartment.
Worked hard. Okay, Patrice, Pike, Sam West, sit tight because that live performance is coming up. We do want to remind our viewers the Sunday Fun Day Community Celebration is happening next Sunday, April 26th at Dan Electro's. It is a free concert where you can support Step Onward's Foundation, their mission in fighting homelessness.
All right, Patrice is going to join her guitarist Hunter Hendrickson and perform for us coming up next when Houston Life returns.
That was fantastic.